Questions for De'Shayne?
What changes, just first of all, coming from Mount St. Mary's and everything, what brought you to UGA?
Sure, I mean, when I first stepped on the campus and met Coach White and all the coaches, I kind of instantly fell in love with the place. I didn't really have too many, I have too many what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Complaints.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have complaints about it. Real family environment. That's what I really look for the most when I find a new place.
From all indication, you've had a pretty strong summer. I mean, it hasn't really taken you long to really get acclimated. That's something you're a little bit of an older guy. Just your past experiences kind of helped you do that. Just what have you done this summer to kind of try to build yourself up for the season?
I mean, last season, I kind of, slacked off a little bit. This year I'm trying to every day, coming in with 110% effort, attitude, helping every guy, miss shots, make shots, still encouraging everybody, and for me, my biggest thing is the weight room, getting a couple more pounds on my body, so that's where I really.
How much bigger have you gotten since you've been here?
I say 10 pounds of muscle. When I first got here, I was around 185. Yeah. Now I'm 196, 197. So, following Coach Crane, put me in the right direction.
How's it feel playing at that kind of weight?
It feels great. I can't really tell my explosiveness and stuff, but people bumping me and stuff, I don't really get knocked off track like how I used to. So
bumping back now, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
De'Shayne, you were the first of the portal guys to commit to Georgia. What was sort of the vision that was sold to you and made you say, all right, I'm going to jump on board?
The blueprint, Coach White had out for me, Coach EP, I like what I saw, coming in, being myself, bring what I have to the table, to the team, just trying to make them win the program.
Would imagine you played a big part in getting Dakota here as well. Just what was your message to him once you had already committed to follow you here?
I mean, I committed and I seen George was his top 3, top 5, I forgot what it was, but he lived right down the hall from me at the time, so I was like, why not, let's do it again.
How much does it help having a former teammate come with you? I mean, that you've got at least one familiar face as you get settled.
It feels good, coming in here. At least I know somebody. I'm coming here as a stranger, but after the first couple of days, nobody was a stranger on the team to me. Everybody, we all became brothers, friends at the end of the day, real quick. So that was something I like about the team.
To somebody that hasn't watched Dakota's game as much, just what would you say, his skill set is?
If you want to see a bucket, just watch him play. I think he can score at all 3 levels. Real good, from the layups to mid-range to threes. He's really an underrated passer as well too. His scoring overrides the passing side, but he's a really good, exciting player to watch.
What do you remember about playing here and going up against Georgia?
Say it again.
What do you remember about playing against Georgia this past season?
I remember, atmosphere being, lit. Just my team was low key down, but I just kept thinking about the end goal, trying to win the game and stuff. So just bring up all the energy. I remember dunking on the rims, stuff like that.
Did that help at all? When you were looking at Georgia, saying, hey, I played here, and I kind of.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it did. Because the environment that we had, being a non-conference game, I can only imagine conference. Throughout the whole year, all the support everybody gets.
What's impressed you about RJ since seeing him come in?
His motor. Like you said, every day in and day out, you can always hear him on the court. You always feel him going for rebounds, stuff like that. And if you're down, he's one of the guys he's gonna help lift you up, get back you on your feet.
You kind of downplayed that role as far as him, being that guy that's kind of bringing everybody together a little bit. But from what you've seen from him in that regard, it's a little more than kind of what he was kind of saying as far as the role he's playing, as far as being that kind of guy to kind of get everybody together.
Yes, sir, for sure. Coming in as a leader, he's been to the tournament. He's seen all the work, what you got to do to get there. I'm just here to listen. Trying to follow, get get to the NCAA tournament again.
What kind of things does this team do with so many newcomers to kind of build that chemistry? Is that all just what happens on the court? Do you guys do things off the court?
Yeah, we
How
do
you going
things.
about
We
to-
do things off the court. You know, really most of the guys, like every weekend, we usually watch football games. Now that it's coming back on, college and NFL. So you know, the team bond is there, the chemistry is there. I don't got no problems with that.
When you look at this team, what do you see as your role? What do you want to provide to this team?
Main thing I want to provide is defense. You know, coming out, guarding the best player on the opposite team. You know, holding them to whatever I want them to. And yeah, that's really it for real.
Another guy that came in this offseason, Tyron Lawrence, played a lot of SEC basketball. How helpful do you feel like he's been helping you kind of learn and see?
Like, he's real helpful. He's also left-handed as well as me. So, you know, I could take a couple notes from him as well. Since he's been in the SEC, like, he knows how physical it is, like, what to expect, what not to expect. So, you know, he's a good guy to have.
Going from the MAC to the SEC, what's been the biggest adjustment in terms of physicality, just going up against your new teammates?
I say, like, we practice, we get, like, a lot of bumps, a lot of pushes, and, like, sometimes I complain saying, like, foul, but they're like, nah, like, you don't get this in the SEC. So I'm like, okay, so let me prepare myself, you know, not be a punk, you know, fight through the contact.
Coming out of high school, was maybe you didn't have the the Power 5 offers that you wanted, but was it always a goal of yours to eventually end up at a Power Conference school?
Yeah, for sure. You know, growing up, I used to play soccer, so basketball was a late transition for me. But once that was like what I wanted to do, goals to play in the NBA and Power 5. So coming out of high school, not having them offers, it kind of made me think like, damn, like, well, this is not for me. But then repetition, grind, and work, it all pays off at the end of the day.
How old were you when you really started focusing on basketball?
Freshman year of high school, like 14, 15, something like that. Yeah.
What other sports did you play growing up?
Soccer, that was really my main sport. I played flag football,
Okay.
and then that was it. Just
You
them
mentioned
two.
the soccer. Did you ever at one time think that might be your sport? Was that
Yeah,
gonna be
that-
something you were going to do?
My mom's from Germany, so
Okay, yeah,
that's what I had growing up, watching soccer every day, every weekend with her. That's what I wanted to do, be a professional soccer player. But things changed,
So what was her reaction when you said you told you want to focus on basketball?
At
instead of soccer?
At first, she was like a little like, damn, all this time. But then, I'm her son at the end of the day, so she supports me whatever decision I make.
I imagine it's one of those things where most parents and kids that age are going to different tournaments and playing different
Yeah,
stuff. She's the one
yeah,
that's packing you up in the car and
Yes, sir. She was there
Taking-
every game, every
Yeah.
practice, there to drop me off, there to pick me up. She was like my number one supporter for sure.
sweet.
When we were talking to RJ, he talked about Silas's leadership and what he's shown. What has stood out to you about how Silas has led this team so far?
Yeah, he a sophomore too. He's in my class, and coming in, I didn't expect him, to be like one of the main voices on the team. But to hear that, it kind of like brought me out of my shell a little bit too. Because before, like, I was usually like quiet, in the back of the lines. But now, like, hearing from him, that like gave me a little more confidence in myself.
Was he somebody that was reaching out to you saying, hey man, you should give Georgia a shot?
Yeah, he was there on my visit too, but really it was Noah Thomason from last year. He called me and my pops, on my visit, telling me things like good things and bad things about the school. So, yeah.
We have time for one more question, or not? Go ahead.
This is probably the highest expectations Georgia basketball team has in a while. Like I said before, it's been a while since you guys were in the tournament. Made a deep run in the NIT last spring. How much do you think about making the NCAA tournament? Obviously, you weren't able to with Mount St. Mary's, but just watching March, I'm sure you've seen Cinderella runs. How excited are you at the possibility of playing in March?
I mean, yeah, it's really exciting, but we don't really think on that. We think about the present, our term for the year is growth. And, day in and day out, we just got to put the work in and grow and see the end results, which will be the NCAA tournament.
Awesome. Shane?